Hi, my name is Mark Joseph Omag, and I am going to answer the questions that were posted in the Google Classroom, which is coming from the activity 3 of the accounting information subject. So first would be the question is, what is accounting information system? So as I've read the textbook, I have broadened my knowledge about the AIS, and AIS is the intersection between the accounting as profession and the engagement in information system. And if we refer it to the modern age, AS is we shall say the study of the computerized accounting system. And AS today is very suitable because, of course, with the advent of the technology, works could be done easier. Works could be done in shorter amount of time, and making all the processes of the company or throughout the departments, making it increases the efficiency of the company. And according to the textbook, the AS is the process collection of data and processing procedures that creates needed information for its users. So if we are going to understand the accounting information system, we only need to three processes, or the three things that needs to be understand. So first would be the inputs, next is the processes, and third would be the outputs. So what are these processes? Okay, so inputs, these are the collection of raw or stored data serve as the primary inputs. So basically, first is the collection of the raw data. Next is would be the processes, or the data that were collected will be processed, and it will then be or it will then create um, the meaningful information or the output, which will then be used by the decision makers or the intended needed users. Okay, so talking about the intended needed users, so who are these users of the outputs of the account information system? So it could be owner shareholders, it could be managers, respective investors, creditors, bankers, and other lending institutions or government. So these are the financial data users of the output coming from the AIS. Okay, and according to here, accounting information system connects information technology with GAAP, or the generally accepted accounting principles. So GAAP here is these are the standards of our accountancy. Okay, so GAAP serves as the standard, and it gives the accounting processes in uniform. Okay, so making all the accounting practices and accounting processes throughout different companies in uniform or uniformity. Okay, and for example, when a firm approach for a loan from a bank, it will have to submit details of its business activities in terms of operating profit or loss in the financial position. Okay, we said earlier that accounting information system connects information technology with GAAP. Okay, so here the output of the AS is the operating profit or loss in the financial position, or in formal way we call it the statement of financial position and statement of operating profit or loss. So that is the right term for the accounting statement of financial statements in accounting. So these are actually the process data. So these are the um, coming from the data that were collected in, for example, in the sales order. The sales order, it will be then stored in the computer of the company, and then when the computer does their, let's say, a sales clerk or a official personnel of the company process all the data that were collected in the sales, and then it will then be sent to the accounting department, and then the accounting department or the accountant clerks are the one who will create statement of financial position. So the statement of financial position there, or the statement of statement of operating loss or profit are the process data, which of course guided by the GAAP. Okay, so that is the context of the accounting information system. So as I said earlier, that accounting information system is the collection of data and processing procedures that creates needed information of its users, and these users are the could be the manager, the stakeholders, the government, and etc. Okay, so that is for the first question. What is the importance of AS in the modern practice of accounting? So in today's generation, information technology has impacted our lives in many personal ways. Okay, and it is in our great knowledge that the the information technology or the computer technology has had a profound influences in the commerce industry, and by that, AAS has contributed certain changes in accounting, such as faster data processing, increased accuracy, ease of use, and improves external reporting. Okay, so the AAS today is a very big help to the business, and with that business solely they are now adapting the AAS because it, of course, there are benefits, and one of those are the faster data processing and increased accuracy. So with that, that could be the significance of the AAS in the modern practices. So why is that significant to have the AAS in modern practice of accounting? So first would be the first faster data processing. Okay, so the introduction of computers changed the game for accountants by decreasing the time it takes to calculate, analyze, and sort data. The respective software being utilized eliminates a drawn-out process of manual accounting and does all calculation for you. And its IT's impact on shortening time needed to process data increases overall efficiency for both the accountant and the company being audited. So the highlight of this faster data processing is that it solely increases the efficiency, and we know that efficiency is the ability to avoid wasting materials, energy, efforts, money, and time in doing something or producing a desired result. And one of the factor there is the time. So with that, with what AIS has contributed to the modern practice, it increases the efficiency for the company. And next would be the increased accuracy. So manual accounting used to rely on the accountant's ability to correct errors and tediously double-check figures before finalized completion. And while human error is still possible when inputting information, computerized accounting system minimize all of the potential errors when computing data to give a highly trusted result. With the assistance of the computerized accounting technology, data transactions are properly recorded directly into financial statement, in turn speeding up production and availability of information. So the increased accuracy is, of course, before the AAS has existed in the business world, the we have this manual accounting, and of course, manual accounting, you do it manually, and there is always a high chance that there would be a possible errors, and with that possible errors, and then you have to find it to locate it manually. And with the existence of the AAS, we could lessen that disadvantage that were brought by the manual accounting, and we convert it, the manual accounting, into the accounting information system. So definitely it increases the accuracy because errors in inputting data in information system or information technology could be less likely to happen. That could be the koan. That is the advantage, one of the advantages of the accounting information system to the accounting practices. And that would be the answers for the second question, which is the importance of AS. So again, significance of AS in modern practice is because of the faster data processing and the increased accuracy. Although there are a lot of the importance and significance for the AS in modern practice, but I only cited two. Yeah. Now let's proceed to the third question. What is cloud computing and how does this increase the capability of an AS? And To define, according to the textbook, cloud computing is a way of using business applications over the internet, such as the way you use the internet for your bank's transactions. Cloud computing are categorized as data storage, infrastructure, and application software. So if a company would like to take advantage of cloud computing, it would most likely need to subscribe to all three categories from the service provider. And cloud computing is the most important IT innovations since the laptop computer, and organizations of all sizes are discovering the benefits of cloud computing provider to reduce computing costs, increase agility, innovation, and improve data security. And did you know that the best example and the best company that uses the cloud computing services is Netflix is an application-based software infrastructure that stores data on remote servers, which can be accessed through the internet, of course. And the front end enables a user to access data storage in the cloud using an internet browser or a cloud computing software. So Netflix has a software which can be downloaded on the Play Store. And cloud computing has the ability only pay for the applications that you use, and Netflix is the best example where you can pay for subscription to access thousands of movies or TV series. Basically, cloud computing increases information technology or adding capabilities without investing in a new infrastructure, training new people, or licensing new software. So, one category of the cloud computing is the pay to use. So you pay and then you will gain access. And Netflix is the best example for cloud computing services. For the fourth question, what is forensic accounting and how AIS is used to achieve this? So forensic accountant combines the skills of investigation, accounting, and auditing to find and collect pieces of information that collectively provide evidence that criminal activity is in progress or has happened. So they are the FBI, the LAPD, or the agent, the CIA of the accounting practices. So they investigate if and they provide evidence if there are criminal activity that has happened in that area. So forensic accountants use technology for data mining. For example, a program that is well known to auditors is Audit Command Language, or the ACL, and which is popular data extraction software tool that can be used to spot anomalies and trends in data. So this ACL helps the objective of the forensic accountant. And do you know the objectives of the forensic accountant is to find proof of a crime, to present it in a way that can stand up in a court of law. So the second question, how is AS used to achieve this? So of course, AS stores data, they process, and they they create output for the intended users. Okay, and with that data's informations in financial records, for example in bank system, they can spot anomalies if there are suspicious deposits, suspicious monies that are being stored in the bank. So they can achieve the objective of the forensic accountant, which is to provide proof that crime has existed, of course, with the information that are stored in the information system of the bank or in a company or in an entity. So that would be the answers on how AS used to achieve this. So for the fifth question, what are the major areas of accounting that are impacted by information technology? Explain. The major areas that are impacted by the information technology are the financial accounting, taxation, auditing, and managerial accounting. So first would be the financial accounting, and the major objective of financial accounting information system is to provide relevant information to individuals and groups outside an organization's boundaries. So for example, we have the investors, the federal and state tax agencies, and creditors. Um, Accountants achieve these informational objectives by preparing such financial statements as income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements, which are as I said earlier, these are the process data that the output of the AIS. And of course, many managers within the company can also use financial reports for planning uh, decision making and control activities. And as I said earlier, that the managers are one of the intended users of the output of the AIS, and of course, managers are in charge of a particular division that talks about the profitability information to make decisions about future investment or to control expenses. So to achieve this task for the manager has to consult or review or check the statements of the company that are created by the accountants. These statements are the process data or the output. So it the managers will then assess if the company is capable to invest in future expenses. And another impact of IT on financial accounting concerns the timing of inputs, processing, and outputs. Financial statements are periodic, and most large companies traditionally issue them quarterly, with a comprehensive report produced annually. With advances in IT that allow transactions to be captured immediately, and accountants and even the AS itself can produce financial statements almost in real time. So that, as I said earlier, that the one of the advantage of the AS is that it has a faster data processing. So with with faster data processing, the statements that is intended to be used in the users or the managers or the stakeholders are created in a short amount of time or in a short span amount of time. So that is the impact of the AS in financial accounting. Next would be the managerial accounting. So the objective of the managerial accounting is to provide relevant information to organizational managers, that is users who are internal to a company or government agency. And we know that cost accounting and budgeting are two typical parts of a company's managerial accounting system. So first would be the cost accounting. Cost accounting, one example in the area of cost accounting is the corporate performance assessment, or the CPM. In a responsibility accounting system, for example, managers trace unfavorable performance to the department of individuals that caused the inefficiencies. Okay, so the under the responsibility accounting system, the manager trace the unfavorable performance, or this performance affects the efficiency of the company. And under the responsibility accounting system, each subsystem within an organization is only accountable for those items over which it has control. Thus, when a particular cost expenditure exceeds its standard cost, managers can take immediate corrective action. So that would be the impact of a specific part of the managerial accounting with the existence of the AAS. So next would be the budget. So a budget is a financial projection for the future and is thus a valuable managerial planning aid. And a good budgetary system is also a useful managerial control mechanism because managers use budgets to predict future financial expectations. They can compare the causes of significant variations between actual and budgeted results during any budget period. And through timely performance reports that compare actual operating results with prescribed norms, managers are able to identify and investigate significant variations. So the the bottom line of this the budgeting is that, of course, budgeted income statements or budgeted financial statements of a company are being used by the managers or the manager in managerial accountants to um, to differentiate and to locate any differences in terms of variations, so that they can have an uh, relevant actions to the budgetary control of the company. So that is the impact of the AS in managerial accounting. Next is the auditing. And auditing is the traditional role of auditing has been to evaluate the accuracy and completeness of a corporation's financial statements. Today, there are several additional areas in which auditors can perform assurance work, many involving AAS. One example is to vouch for a client's compliance with the HIPAA laws or the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Okay, so another example of the involvement of AAS in auditing is that the CPA Trust Services. This is a services in which a set of professional services areas built around a set of common principles and criteria related to the risks and opportunities presented by IT environments. And trust services include only online privacy evaluations, security audits, test of the integrity of information processing systems. So those are basically the role of the CPA Trust Services in auditing. So a as noted earlier, that computerized AAS have made this task more challenging. For example, automated data processing also creates a need for auditors to evaluate the risk associated for such automation. So, as I said that automated data processing also creates a need for auditors to evaluate the risk associated with such automation. So that would be the impact of the AS in auditing. So it gives the automated data processing the auditors to easily evaluate the risk associated with such automation. And of course, with the help also of the CPA Trust Services, one of the example of the company or the act or the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which is the HIPAA. The last would be taxation. So although some individuals still complete their income tax returns manually, many now use computer programs such as TurboTax for this task. Such tax preparation software is an example of an AS that enables its users to create and store copies of trial tax returns. So taxation also the has impacted by the AS. So with the existence of the AS, before we do our individual tax manually, but now with the existence of the AS, it can now be in computer, in which it is easier, it is convenient, you don't need to go to the BARs. And such tax preparation software is an example of an AAS, and that enables its user to create and store copies of trial tax returns. So that would be basically the highlight of the impact of the AAS to the taxation. So that would be for the fifth question, the impact of the AAS. Last question would be, what are the possible careers for someone skilled enough in AAS? Recognizing the importance to accountants of knowledge about information system, the IECPA developed a new designation, which is the Certified Information Technology Professional, or the CITP, which accountants can earn if they have business experience and if they pass an examination. Aside from that, possible careers for someone skilled in AIS would be a system consultant, certified fraud examiner, or IT auditors. So that is the possible careers for someone skilled in AIS. So that would be my answers in the activity 3 of the accounting information system.